Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Black Hole, which is a graphic novel that was recommended to us by friend of the show, Amanda.
Way.
But before we get to that, it's time for catching up with Jack and Liam.
Everyone's favourite part of the show.
No one likes this part of the show except for you, and I think it's more out of pity than anything.
Yeah, I don't want to put it down.
Well, how are you, Jack?
I'm good, thanks, Liam. How are you?
Excellent. All caught up. Moving on.
It's weird, right? Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because we put on this weird pretense at the start of the show where we, like, for about, a minute, we act like we're friends.
No, we are friends.
I mean, we are, but also we act like it. Like, we're friends in a very specific way, which is me and you are very good friends who argue a lot.
Yeah.
But for some reason, for the first minute of Nerd on Nerd, we always pretend like we're the kind of friends who are like, oh, how are you doing, buddy?
Sometimes we are like that.
Well, not when the listeners are here. I've derailed everything. What have you been up to, Liam?
Well, inspired by the conversation we had in the last episode where you were waxing lyrical about virtual reality.
Yes.
I also took the plunge and got myself the PlayStation VR because we're such good friends, Jack, that I wanted to even play with you virtually.
I feel like if I was a better friend, when you said, look, guys, should I get this? Bearing in mind that, I'd rather not spend the money. I'd rather save it. I feel like if I was a better friend, I would have said, no, man, don't worry. Hold out. You're okay. You don't need it. But instead, I very much wanted you to get it.
Instead, it was like, yeah, we need 4 people for Star Trek, and we've only got 3. So
Dan said it was much better with 4 people that we knew.
I agree. I'm really looking forward to playing it again.
Yeah, same. We've all been waiting for you, Liam.
I'm sorry. I have been quite busy this week. But
you got VR and then managed to spend one day playing with everyone.
Yeah, no, I have played other like VR by myself. It's because we're all so busy is the issue. Like, I could have done Wednesday night, but you're busy Wednesdays.
Yeah, that's true.
And then so Tuesday I had to go to a cinema screening, but I've got nothing planned. No evenings this week. So
hopefully we'll get some.
Let's get some Star Trekking done.
Let's do it. So yeah, how are you finding VR, Liam? What are your thoughts on it? Everyone knows my opinion.
It's more amazing than I was expecting.
Okay, I'm glad.
Because I didn't really know what to expect. I don't think I've really done a lot of virtual reality stuff in the past. Maybe not ever.
I don't think many people have.
Well, no, but there are like places you can go to, and they have that sort of stuff rigged up for you. Like tech places. Isn't there somewhere in London called like the Trocadero or something?
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I don't think I was expecting it to be as impressive as it was.
Yeah.
And so we obviously recorded, say, earlier in the week, and then I spent all week sort of umming and ahhing over whether or not to get it, and Kat was very much being like the little angel on the shoulder, sort of nagging and saying, oh no, you should save your money, blah, blah, blah. And then I had like you and Dan and me as like the devils on my shoulder, being like, no, you should definitely get it. So the weekend came and I eventually was just like, fuck it, I'm getting it. And then after I got it all set up, Kat went for a nap. I set it all up and I started playing Batman. And like, I know Dan, who also has VR, like, wasn't a big fan of the Batman game.
No, he doesn't like it that much.
Yeah, it was the one thing that I knew Kat would enjoy. And I was like, if anything's going to kind of get her seeing the positive of VR, it's this. So I played up to like, say 20 minutes of the game. Kat woke up from her nap, came down, I was like, you've got to try this. And then I swear, she played probably about the same amount as me, but then the rest of the evening, she was just talking about how impressed she was with VR.
That's pretty good. Winning over Kat to the side of VR, I feel like is an achievement.
Definitely. And I'm really excited, because since then I've gone and completed the Batman game. And it isn't long, maybe like an hour or so. But I am very excited for her to go and experience the rest of it, because I know she'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe like why it's so good though. It just really it's. I think the first time I took it off, and Kat came down, I was like, this is like nothing I've ever experienced before when it comes to like gaming.
I think it's genuinely, like, I know it's one of those words that gets used way too much, so it loses the meaning, but it's so immersive.
Yeah.
Like, when you're playing something and you're looking at a screen, no matter, like, you can be absorbed in it. Like when I'm reading a book and you read a book and you get absorbed in the world.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens with films and games.
Yeah.
But when you're actually wearing a headset and looking around.
Well, you got like headphones in as well, so you're blocking out any kind of like outer influence.
And your hands are moving in front of you where they are actually moving, if you're
Yeah.
using the move controllers.
Yeah.
Like, it's genuine. It feels like you're there, as weird as that is.
Yeah. It is so impressive. And I was kind of a bit, not concerned, but unsure of how I'd handle, like, I know a lot of people had, like, nausea and stuff playing it.
Yeah.
But I've honestly yet to experience that. And I've done I think I did a couple of sessions that went like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I played Job Simulator for,
Yeah.
I think 2 to 3 hours, just straight, and was fine. The
Yeah.
only time I felt nausea was playing Star Trek when I was piloting the ship
Yeah.
and staring out the front view, which is weird, because if I'm sitting in one of the other seats, it's fine. But I think it's because I was actively...
Controlling things.
Yeah, piloting it, like turning it left and stuff. And then I think it's because your brain's not getting any feedback,
Yeah.
like feeling-wise. So if you're sitting in another seat, you're not in control, so your brain's not expecting it almost.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it was odd. But even then, it was only very minor. I was like, ooh, I better not just keep doing this.
Which, yeah, makes sense. So yeah, I got the Batman game, the Star Trek game, which we played together, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then also a game that I am so excited for you to visit, and we're going to film you playing.
I don't want to.
This is why we're doing it, because we played Until Dawn, like the original like PlayStation
Yeah, but
game.
that was fine, because I wasn't absorbed in a spooky world.
Yeah, now we're going to be doing Until Dawn. I think it's called like Rush of Blood to the Head or something like that.
I think it's just called Rush of Blood, isn't it? Or
Possibly, yeah.
I don't think they did a long name like Rush of Blood to the Head.
I don't know, but it's virtual reality. It's Until Dawn, and it's probably the one that I think is like the most comfortable to play. I found, or not. Maybe that's the wrong way of saying it, but like,
Yeah, when you say comfortable, do you mean you were like, oh, it feels right?
yeah, like the way they've kind of orchestrated the game. So with both Batman and Star Trek, I've had to stand to play.
Yeah.
With Batman, that works fine. With Star Trek, it sort of doesn't quite work because you're kind of supposed to be sitting, but it doesn't pick up the controls when I do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Until Dawn is very much structured around the idea of you sat down, and I think that adds to the immersion a little bit. It's honestly, it's going to make for a great video.
I mean, it's just going to make me piss myself, and then you're.
Well,
gonna
it's a
have to
leather
clean that up.
sofa, so it'll wipe clean.
Fair point.
So yeah, Until Dawn and virtual reality and all that sort of stuff. It was a good shout, Jack. I'm pleased you suggested it.
Well, I'm glad you're now living in the virtual world, Liam.
I also took a couple of days off work.
Ooh!
Went up to that London on Thursday, didn't I?
Big rat race, chasing the cheese.
You know the shtick,
Yep.
whichever. Went for a lovely Italian.
Oh yeah, where did you go?
I want to say pomodoro, but I don't know. That might just be an Italian dish.
I mean, I don't know, so I'll assume you're right.
It was around Covent Garden ways.
Yep.
Ordered a pizza. Kat had a lasagna. It was
Ooh.
honestly, it was like 7 layers of lasagna. It was ridiculous.
Jesus.
It was ridiculous, and I think Kat ended up regretting getting it a little bit because it was too much. And it didn't really. You had to get like salad as a side, and she didn't bother.
So it's just a huge amount of lasagna.
like a huge slab, yeah. And I had this like delicious pizza with like cheese and like special fancy tomatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we also had bread for starters. Now, the thing is, bread and pizza inside my belly, it's not going to stick around for long.
Oh god, yeah. Which is when I got the text, or no, was it a text or a message?
WhatsApp.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I went to, sort out. I'm trying to think of a way of politely phrasing this, Jack.
That's all right, Liam. Let me do it for you. So, listeners, you know how your favourite part of this show is when Liam talks about going to the toilet? We've got that again.
No wiping issues though.
That's good.
Just went.
Imagine, just very quickly. Imagine if you'd gone to those toilets and had to shout for your mummy.
But anyway, so like, Kat hates it when I do this because she's like, "Oh, I get left by myself for like 15 minutes and it's really awkward."
Yep.
And I understand that, so I tried to be quick, okay? And I was messaging you at the time, and I feel like I was pretty quick because I sent you a message like as soon as I sat down.
Yeah,
I
we have an actual.
I had the exact time frame I was gone, right?
Yeah,
and it was 8 minutes.
Yeah, and to your credit, I assumed you would have been longer.
Yeah, no, 8 minutes. I don't think
we
is an
checked that
unreasonable length of time
I think that's quite quick.
Thank you. The waiter came over to Kat and apparently said, I hope he's okay. To which she responded, yeah, he's fine. I mean, I don't know how she knew that, but the messages I then got on Facebook from her were, hurry up, this is cringe. The waiter just said he hopes you're okay. That isn't even a joke. It happened. Just waiting patiently for the ground to swallow me up.
Oh, what? Now, there's so many questions, Liam.
Is the first one, why am I talking about this?
No, because I'm not like our listeners. I find all this talk fascinating, because it's almost like, I feel like how someone like David Attenborough, when he goes and like looks at the other animals and he's like, oh, it's just amazing how they live this totally different lifestyle. I feel like that's how I feel when you're talking about your pooing.
Well, I also feel like it's such a thing that like there's this stigma around it. Oh, you shouldn't discuss that. It's unbecoming, and like, you know, there's a you shouldn't.
Everyone who says unbecoming talks about how unbecoming pooing is. Talking about pooing is.
But there is this like stigma. Like it's not.
Not really. There used to be.
Do you think? Well, I'm hoping that at least we're doing our part to help break that down.
I don't think there is a big wall. Anyway, why did the waiter?
Yeah.
Why did he ask that question? Because that question now, if you had been gone 20 minutes, maybe that question's okay. Even then, I don't think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think a better question is he okay?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh God, have we given him food poisoning? That would be understandable.
Exactly. And the thing is, what I don't get is why Kat didn't just say, yeah, he ate a lot of bread. Because that explains everything, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay, and we've immediately, I thought for a moment there, I thought you were having a normal conversation about your poo, but no. Why does eating bread make you poo more?
I don't know, I'm not a scientist.
So what happens? You eat some bread or a lot of bread?
A lot.
How much bread did you eat?
Ooh, so we had bread for starter, a bread basket.
Yeah, but how much of that, how much did you eat?
Like 3 big pieces. And then you think, like, pizza is a lot of dough, bread.
Bread should clog you up.
Didn't.
Jesus Christ, you're broken.
I'd done 2 poos that morning as well.
Fucking hell.
Before going to London.
Oh, God.
And honestly, these weren't little ones either. Like,
we don't need the details.
I'm just saying, because I told Kat.
Maybe you're allergic to bread.
I don't think that's it.
That doesn't sound normal.
It's not like it always happens with bread either. It just, this time it did. Anyway, the food was really nice though. That's kind of key to get across.
Yeah.
Then we went to see Penn and Teller, the magicians.
Ooh.
So they were playing at the Apollo in London.
I'd love to go see them.
I did tell you that they were playing.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know why you didn't, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Now, because it's magic, and I love magic, not like Harry Potter bullshit magic, I like real magic. It's a big arena. Is arena the right big venue? Let's say.
Yeah, venue.
Apparently there was like over 3,000 people there. I decided I was going to splash out a bit, treat ourselves to like seats quite close to the front.
Yeah.
Because I just figured like that's the sort of show where you're going to benefit the most from being close to the front.
Oh, definitely.
So we ended up in row B, and the way the kind of rows were laid out is imagine like each row had like say 3 sections, okay?
Uh-huh.
Row A was just in like the middle section. So we were on like the wing of row B with no one in front of us. So essentially we had front row seats.
Ooh.
And for the first trick, I was called on stage.
Well, that's pretty fucking cool.
It was, but also kind of terrifying.
Yeah?
But like...
Did you freeze up?
No, but it was such a surreal experience. I don't think I've even quite fully finished processing it yet.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, immediately Kat just started laughing her head off. Let me explain.
Could you hear Kat laughing?
Well, she was in the front row, so I could just see her.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
So like, they initially come out, and they're dressed in these big like, like a Mr. Blobby like costume, but it's of Penn and Teller.
Yeah, I think I've seen them wearing them before.
Yeah, and the first kind of like act is them doing this little like talk about it, and they're like, "Oh, we need someone from the front row who can't see very far in this thing, so we need someone quite close to the front row." And they're like, "That guy there, white shirt, glasses," and I kind of looked down. I was like, "I'm wearing a white shirt and I got glasses," and he stood right in front of me. I looked back up, and at that stage, like one of the stage hands had grabbed my wrist and was pulling me up onto the stage.
Yeah.
So I get up, Kat's loving it, just laughing her head off. One of them's got this like giant deck of cards.
Okay.
And the sort of ruffling is like you got to say stop, but you have to yell really loudly because we've got like a fan in here blowing air around, so I can't hear very well. So it starts ruffling. I yell stop. They sort of show this card to the audience. It's a king of diamonds. They give it to me. I shuffle. So far I've been talking to Penn, because obviously Teller's the one that doesn't really speak.
Yeah.
If you know their act at all.
I do.
Then I have to give the deck of cards back to Teller. Then Penn gets a gun out.
Yep.
At which point I just took a giant step back.
Right.
Teller's holding a balloon. They're going to do some trick where they're shooting or whatever. It got confusing. I didn't really know what was going on. There was a gunshot. The costume, the blow up thing that Teller's in just suddenly starts deflating. That sort of goes down. I don't fully remember what happened next, but I know that whoever was... Well, the Penn costume then unzips and Teller comes out of it.
Oh, okay.
And then Penn comes out from, like, off stage and is holding the King of Diamonds and then shakes my hand and I go and sit down and my head's just like, I don't know what the hell just happened.
I like the idea, because the way you've told that, Liam...
Yeah.
It almost sounds like when the gun came out, you just panicked, and then that's why you don't really remember what happened.
It's kind of, yeah.
I like the idea of them getting a prop gun out for their trick, and you just panic. What were you thinking was going to happen?
I didn't know. The thing is, like, I was
They
already...
can't shoot you, Liam.
No, I was already panicking when they handed me a giant deck of cards to shuffle. I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
good at
that's fair.
shuffling.
No, I've seen you shuffle.
Yeah. I had a giant deck to the mix, and that's when the panic first started. The gun just didn't help. So yeah, I don't really know what the trick was, because I didn't really see it.
Yeah.
But it, it was an experience.
Yeah. So one, how did you enjoy being on stage other than the panic? Was it exciting?
It was exciting. I had a couple of moments where I looked out at the audience and was like, let's not do that again. And I just sort of focused on looking at Kat.
Yep, fair enough.
But yeah, it was just really odd.
Yeah.
It was just, there was this constant element of, one, don't trip, and two, I hope I can do whatever they ask me to do.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, yeah, those are the two most important things.
And I totally get, like the Darren Brown type of shows, I get why people are more susceptible once they're on stage, because
Your brain's just overloaded.
yeah,
with
it's such a surreal experience.
Yeah.
Like they could have easily probably put me to sleep and made me dance around like a chicken.
Oh, I wish they had.
Like, for all I know, they could have done.
Did Kat record any of this? I know that you're not allowed to. Did she secretly record any
No,
of it?
she said she wanted to like get a picture, but she also said she also didn't want to miss any of it, and she didn't want to be like rooting around in her bag looking for her phone.
Yeah, that's fair. She made the right call.
Yeah, but it honestly was just so surreal.
How was the rest of the show?
Really good. Really,
Yeah.
really good. I'd seen one of the tricks before. They performed it on Fool Us, that show they do.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the only trick I'd seen before. And even though I'd seen it before, it was still cool to see it live.
Yeah, no, just the way they do things is just hugely impressive.
Yeah, I love their whole patter.
Yeah.
It's so well done. Honestly, if you ever got the chance to go and see them, I would 100% recommend it.
I just wouldn't sit in the front row.
I mean, I wouldn't, say not to.
I'd be worse than you, so...
In what way?
I have my social anxiety. I'm terrified of the thought of it. I'm panicking now.
Okay, maybe. The thing is, like, they did get quite a lot of audience interaction. They got a fair few people on stage, and they weren't all from the front row.
Oh, God,
so,
that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, but it was just so good, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't want to kind of say what any of the tricks were. I don't want to spoil any of it.
No, that's a good thing not to do.
Yeah, but because I think they play in Vegas a lot, and that's why I wanted to go when they were over here, because I was like, I'm not going to get a lot of chances to see these guys live, I don't think.
Yeah.
So if you were to have the chance again, I would say you should take it, Jack.
Fair enough.
But that's all I've really been up to.
Oh, you sound like you've been a busy boy, Liam.
What about you, though? Surely you've done more than... I don't know.
I don't know if I've done more than that.
Well, no, but I mean more than what you've said previously.
Well, I went and saw the Stone Roses, Liam.
Of course. And right, they have one song that I know.
Yep.
I don't know what the song is.
Yeah, I know what one you mean.
Is it about waterfalls?
Are you thinking of TLC?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. That'd be a big mix-up.
Yeah, it would. Go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, so the thing with the Stone Roses, so I originally wasn't going, and
Why?
then my dad had to pull out last minute. Well, not last minute, but him and his mate
Yeah.
booked it, and then my mum told my dad, well, you've booked that on a silly day because that's when my friend's getting married and we're going to that wedding.
Oh.
So So I was like, well, I'll take the ticket because I'm sure it'll be a good gig, and also it'll be hilarious that you're missing it and I'm going.
Yeah.
So I went, and I am a bit like you, I think, in that I don't know the Stone Roses that well.
Okay.
I know a bunch of their songs. Like when I hear them, I'm like, oh, I know this song.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I wouldn't know.
They do have a song called Waterfall.
They do. It's their third top hit on Spotify, Liam.
Oh, okay.
I just looked it up as well.
Yeah. Carry on.
And then they have I Want to Be Adored, which is their like top on Spotify, which is probably their most famous one.
Yeah. How does that go?
Can't remember.
Okay.
They played it when they first came out, though. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a good gig. It was at Wembley.
Who did you go with?
My dad's friend.
Oh, so it's just you and your dad's friend?
Yeah, but I go to gigs with him all the time.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
go to festivals and stuff. It's that one.
Got you, yeah.
So, yeah, we like met up, had some drinks. We forgot to eat.
That was silly.
Yeah, like we both of us realised we'd forgotten to eat after the gig ended. We got separated by the massive crowd, and I had to grab my dad a Father's Day gift.
When is Father's Day?
It's happened.
Oh, okay. Weren't we going to do like a special episode on it?
I don't know.
We were going to have your dad on, and I was going to try and impress him, and he was going to
Well,
like me.
we missed it.
Oh, next
Sorry.
year. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. But yeah, so I went and got him a Stone Roses t-shirt
Yeah.
from the gig because I thought, that's hilariously horrible.
Yeah, that's...
You missed this gig. Here's a shirt that makes it look like you went.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sort of got split up. Actually, we got split up in the middle of the gig because we were standing down there. We'd had a few drinks. We were both a little bit drunk, and Chuck was like, "Right, I've got to go to the toilet."
Okay.
So I said, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll stand exactly here. I'm not going to move. I'm just going to stay right here. Look, and then we do this thing where we're like, look, if you look to the left, there's that pole. So if you're in line with that pole and in line with the middle of the stage, that's where I am."
Yeah.
So about 15 minutes later, I got a text from Chuck saying, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
And I said, I'm where you left me, Chuck. Where are you? And
Yeah.
he went, "Well, I'm in the middle of the crowd." So we then just split up for the rest of the gig.
Okay.
And then at the end, I was like, well, I've got to get Dad a t-shirt, so don't worry about waiting for me, because he'd managed to get close to the station, and it was fucking, rammed.
Yeah, I bet.
So I was like, there's no point you hanging around, just get on the train.
Where was the gig?
Wembley Stadium.
Okay, yeah.
So, it's got 2 stations next to it,
Yeah.
but one of them's a lot closer, and that one was just full.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it was, honestly, it was a really good gig. They had the Blossoms open for them, Liam. I don't know if you know who they are.
I don't know.
They're a really good band. They're worth listening to.
Okay. I don't really listen to music, though.
You should listen to the Blossoms. They're good.
Okay. I do listen to music, but I listen to what I know, so I don't listen to new music a lot.
Yeah, yours is just all Taylor Swift.
Pretty much, yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I think I've worked out that I know about 90% of the lyrics to about 90% of her songs.
Yeah. We should go and see Taylor Swift, Liam.
I'd be down for that. Next time she tours UK, 100%
Awesome.
would be down to go see Taylor Swift.
Yeah, let's do it.
And get a t-shirt.
Hell yes.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, good gig. Got very drunk, didn't eat. Oh.
So what did you do? So I thought the whole not eating was going to lead to a thing where you eventually got food.
Sorry, the whole not eating thing meant that I got a lot drunker than I meant to.
Right, okay.
Which I think helped with the not being able to find each other.
Yeah. And did your dad like his Father's Day present?
Yeah, I forgot to hide it, so he sat with it behind him for most of the day until I was like, oh yeah, that's your Father's Day gift, by the way.
Right. You're a good son.
Fucking, yeah, too right I am.
What did you do for Father's Day?
He was at a fucking wedding, so nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were away for the whole weekend last week, and then they were away this weekend as well, in bloody Ireland.
In Ireland?
Yeah.
We should have your dad on catching up with. It sounds like he's doing
Yeah, he's
stuff.
done a ton of interesting shit.
It's alright, Jack. We'll get you down, because we want to go... So Kat was saying that it'd be good to go bowling with you, for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm a good bowler.
Yeah, and also... do you remember... I don't know if we told you, there was an escape room that's opened up in Portsmouth.
Okay.
So we thought maybe it'd be fun to give that a go.
Is it a spooky one?
I don't think so. So we thought we could go to Portsmouth and do the escape room and bowling.
Yeah, that sounds good. When you want to do it? Why are we? Let's sort this out after the show.
Did you forget for a second that we were recording a podcast that's listened to by tens of people?
No, I didn't forget. I just, as I was saying it, I was like, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, I mean, they might want to come, but for a lot of them, it's a plane fare.
Yeah.
So instead, what we'll do is we'll just regale them with the tales of it once it's all happened.
Exactly.
Perfect. So yeah, that's it, I think, for catching up with, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. I hope you enjoyed that section.
Best part of the show.
Now it's time for We did stuff.
And here's the stuff that we did.
Pretty much, yeah. So I went to the cinema.
What did you see, Liam?
Gotta do some spoiler-free reviews. The first thing I saw was a film called Gifted. Have you heard of this?
No.
So it stars Chris Evans, Captain America.
Yep.
It's also directed by Mark Webb, who did 500 Days of Summer and I think the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies.
All right, okay.
It's a kind of... Did you ever see Kevin Smith's Jersey Girl?
No.
Alright, it's a little bit like that. Essentially, it's about this young girl. I think she's meant to be like 7 or 8 or something. Maybe. She's like a math genius. And her mum was like big into math, but her mum's now dead. And Chris Evans has been homeschooling her, but he kind of wants her to have like just a normal upbringing. So he kind of gets her to enroll in like a local school, but they're doing like what is 1 + 1, and this girl is doing like fucking algebra and quadratic equations and stuff. Okay.
Yep.
So it's kind of essentially it is about like this kind of idea of when someone has this like extraordinary gift of intelligence, do you kind of focus in on that and like give them this like not necessarily extraordinary life, but this very different life, or do you try and give them a normal life?
Why didn't he just send her to a smart school?
Well, that was the thing, and that's kind of the crux of it. So like the grandmother gets involved and really wants her to go to this like posh school that's private and is all inclined for maths, but the mum also had a very similar kind of trajectory in life and didn't handle the pressure of being put in that situation.
Right, got you.
So Chris Evans plays like the brother of the mum, and
so the girl's uncle.
Yes, exactly.
Very good.
And he doesn't want the girl to kind of go through that same thing. So it was good. It was a little bit like twee, and it was a bit coming of age and stuff.
Yeah. So your ideal film.
Yeah, I don't think you would necessarily like it.
How dare you?
But for other listeners out there, it was pleasant enough. The thing is, I thought like 500 Days of Summer, for example, has some like real nice like direction. Like the expectations versus reality scene, for example.
Yes.
Is just fantastic. Gifted did feel a little bit like almost made for TV.
Okay, I mean, the thing is, Liv, the way you're describing it,
yeah,
and I don't know if this reflects your opinion of the film, but it sounds very bland, almost like just a very cookie cuttery sort of film. Like I'm sure I've seen that film before.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot of. It's a nice film. It's a pleasant film. It's just not outstanding or remarkable in any way, I don't think.
Okay.
So 3 out of 5.
Yeah, fair enough. That sounds correct.
Yeah. Also, went to an unlimited screening. I don't think it's out in the UK yet. I think it comes out next week.
Ooh, sneak preview.
Yeah. Went to see Baby Driver, the new Edgar Wright film.
Yep, I want to see this film.
Yeah, I mean, what's your like favourite Edgar Wright film so far?
Shaun of the Dead.
Good shout. That's probably mine as well.
Yeah.
Closely followed by Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, same.
Then Hot Fuzz, and then right at the end you've got The World's End, which I wasn't.
Yep, that sounds about the same as my list.
Alright, so Baby Driver. I was hoping it would be a bit more like Scott Pilgrim than it was. In that, like, so, again, with Scott Pilgrim, I love the way it's directed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, like, little things put on screen, and just the way it's edited, and everything's just wonderful. With Baby Driver, the way the film is put together, technically, and, like, the editing and everything, is flawless. Like, it's incredibly impressive. It's just the story itself isn't the greatest.
Yeah, that's sort of the impression I've got from the trailer.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's about how to describe it. It's like a guy who's really good at kind of driving getaway cars. Like, he has a gift for driving. He's got kind of pulled into this criminal underworld. He's just like go-to getaway driver. So it allows for like some really, really cool car chase scenes, and I love a fucking good car chase scene in a movie.
Uh-huh.
It's why I love Fast and Furious so much. And these, like, you can tell they're done like on location, like no CGI, like incredibly well put together. And at times the film almost feels more like a musical than anything, because it is like all of the car stuff, it's all set to music, and like the editing and the sound effect, everything's like set to the beat of the music.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of point of Baby, right? That's his thing.
Yeah.
Is he's got tinnitus.
Yes.
So he has to listen to music to drown out the drone.
Yeah, exactly. And so the way the film's put together, it does feel like a musical, and I love that element to it. It's just like the actual story of what is going on it was fine. It just wasn't anything different. And like there was a couple of character motivations in like the final act that I don't think quite paid off or like had been set up properly.
Okay.
So yeah, it gets a little bit messy towards the end, but it's fun. It's decent. You know, there's it's not the worst thing you'll see in the cinema this year. 3.5 out of 5.
I do have one question about it, Liam.
Yeah, sure.
Now, the film you've described
Yeah.
does sound a little bit different to the expectations I had.
What were you expecting?
Well, as far as I understood, it was the sequel to Boss Baby, and it was about a small child driving a car.
Ah, yeah.
Ha! You got goofed, Liam.
You got me good, Jack.
You walked into a goof.
That's what happened.
Move on.
So that's all the stuff I did at cinema.
Oh, wait, what?
But I did some Netflix as well.
Right, that threw me. Yep. I was so shocked.
So I've watched 2 shows on Netflix since we last spoke.
Okay.
I finished Iron Fist, the Marvel show.
Any good? I know have we spoken before about it?
No, we haven't.
Have we not?
No, have you seen it?
No.
How far have you got with the Marvel shows?
I still need to watch Luke Cage.
So you did Daredevil 1, 2, and Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
So just Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
I preferred it to Luke Cage.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'm sure me and you have talked about it not on the show.
Yeah.
So the start of Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Poor. Was
What?
that the verdict you sort of had?
It doesn't start brilliantly.
Does the series get better as it goes on, or is it a case of it's sort of the same thing all along? Because I know vaguely what people's opinions have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it gets massively better as it goes along.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, in the first episode, I think it's really also that the fight choreography isn't very good, and you think he's meant to be like a brilliant martial artist, right?
That's the recurring thing that I've heard.
Yeah. It gets a little bit better as it goes, particularly when it doesn't have Finn Jones. Here's the thing. Luke Cage, the best thing about it is the guy that plays Luke Cage. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Iron Fist, the best thing about it is the support cast.
Okay.
So, like, Finn Jones isn't a great lead, but you've got there's a guy from Banshee.
Okay.
Which is a show I don't know who we've spoken about on the podcast. But Tom Pelfrey, I think his name is. He's really good.
Is it the main guy from Banshee or?
No. He's in like one of the later seasons.
Oh, okay. I think I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Banshee, maybe.
Okay, yeah. He applies to be a police officer, and he's like trying to get out of this Nazi kind of group that he's got himself in. So he's got like all these like horrific tattoos all over his face and stuff, and he's trying to like get away from that lifestyle. And he applies to be a cop. So he's really good in Banshee. He plays a very different character in this, but it was just kind of cool seeing him. You've got Jessica Henwick, who plays like the love interest, I guess, and she's really good. And then also another Jessica Straub, I think her name is, also really good. And then David Wenham, who, when it started, I was like, I recognise this guy, and it was bothering me. I had to look it up, and he plays Faramir in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
And I love Faramir in Lord of the Rings. He has one of my favourite quotes of the entire trilogy, which is
one?
"War will make corpses of us all."
Yeah, fair enough.
So it was just delightful seeing him. I think the issue with Iron Fist is when it comes to these sort of comic book things, as we discussed on the Wonder Woman episode, I'm always like more drawn towards the villain, and it's why the first season of Daredevil works so well, because I think it did a good job of giving like equal credence to the villain as it did the hero.
Yeah.
So when the villain's being villainous, you know why he's doing it. Like, you understand his motives, you understand what's led him there, and it almost makes him, like, especially with Daredevil, like a bit sympathetic.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's always a much more interesting dynamic than when you've got like 2 characters who you fully understand fighting, as opposed to just, well, this guy's good and this guy's bad, deal with it.
Yeah.
And the thing with Iron Fist is it didn't really have a strong, clear villain.
Oh, okay. Is there not a like main baddie?
Not really, no. It does do a good job of like tying into stuff that was established in Daredevil, like the Hand play a big part in Iron Fist.
Right, that makes sense with the martial arts.
Yeah. And I think it's also what Luke Cage kind of suffered with, where it didn't have a particularly strong villain throughout. But Luke Cage was very separate to all of the others so far, I think. Okay. Whereas this definitely feels like it is part of this universe. So yeah, I'm really excited for the Defenders. I'm really keen to see like our 4 main characters all together, sort of sharing the screen. But I think if any one of them is the most expendable, it is Iron Fist, Danny Rand.
That's a shame.
It is. I'd give it 3 out of 5.
That's not very high.
It's a low 3, and I'm being generous.
Yeah.
2.5 would also make sense.
Painful.
So it's the Marvel thing, isn't it? Where you kind of feel like you have to watch it, so you kind of know what's going to happen. It's like with the movies. They've done it in such a way that you feel like you have to watch each one.
Yeah.
Almost like a soap or something, you know? Maybe that's a bad comparison.
I think it was, yeah.
I don't know what else you have to be very episodic.
I also think, you say it feels like you've got to watch every single one. I think you could easily get away with not watching some of them.
Yeah, but I think...
I feel like if you hadn't watched... I feel like the ones you've got to watch are probably, Captain America and Iron Man to set up a civil war.
Yeah.
So if you're watching the Avengers, you're going to want to have watched Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah, but then I guess...
You could not watch Hulk.
I don't know.
I mean, he's a pretty one-note character. I love the Hulk, but he is a pretty simple character to pick up on.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't want to be a super angry monster, but he is.
Yeah, I like the Hulk. I feel like they haven't done him justice yet in any of the like Hulk standalone movies.
They haven't. I feel like everyone's just waiting for there to be a World War Hulk / Planet Hulk.
Well, I think they're kind of try and implement some of that story into Thor Ragnarok.
I hope so.
I do, but I also do kind of hope that at some point they go, yeah, let's give him his own movie and let's do it, because Mark Ruffalo is so good.
He is, that's true. He's probably the best Hulk we've had.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah, we are.
Iron Fist, average, but I kind of feel like if you're excited for the Defenders, you need to watch it. So
yeah,
good
fair
luck.
enough. What was the other thing you watched on Netflix?
So the last thing was season 2 of Flaked.
Have you spoken about Flaked on here before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I know, I made you watch an episode.
You did?
Here's the thing with Flaked. It's a fucking weird show.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to know what it is, genre-wise.
Yes. So when I first watched season 1, the appeal of it for me was that I could never get a handle on it, like the tone it was going for. I wasn't sure if it was trying to be like a mystery, a comedy, a drama. And it does a good job of like sort of mixing between each 3 of those elements. But that was like, I think the way you approach Flaked is it's either going to work for you or not, and that you either kind of want to figure out what it's trying to do tonally, or you just reject it and you're like, no, make up your mind, I don't care.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I loved the fact, you know me, I like stuff that like I can't predict when it comes to like entertainment stuff. So the fact that
that's not fair. You also like talking.
Yeah, but those sort of films I tend to not know where they're going to go.
Probably more talking, to be honest.
Maybe, but what about Jack?
Fair enough.
So, yeah, that's why I love the first season. And Will Arnett is just so good. Like,
yeah.
You know, we know him from Arrested Development, and he does comedy brilliantly. But he's given a much more serious role here, and his acting is just immense. So yeah, I loved the first season of Flake. I was so excited for season 2. And the thing that bothers me is it's the sort of show that, as much as I love, I don't see people talking about it online. Like I'm on Twitter a lot. I never see Flaked getting mentioned. And it really upsets me that like it's probably going to get cancelled after the second season, just because.
Is it not good?
No, it's great.
Oh, because no one's talking about it.
Exactly, it's great. But I don't think people are aware of how great it is. Now, if it was to get cancelled, season 2 does a fairly good job of kind of tying up enough that it's like, okay, it's a sort of satisfying conclusion, but there is also enough left open that a third season could easily work.
Yeah.
But I think what season 2 does, so season 1 is very much like all about Will Arnett's character, essentially. Season 2 kind of puts him in a different position where he is in season 1, and that allows for like the secondary characters to come forward a bit more.
Yeah.
And it is still just like incredible TV, I think. I would give season 2 4.5 out of 5. Just superbly acted. It's set in Venice Beach. It's just a beautiful show. I wish more people were watching it and talking about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all the stuff that I did. What did you do,
Liam,
Jack? Because I gave you a task, didn't I?
You did. You asked me to read a book.
Yeah.
and I'll get to that. I'm going to do my book first, Liam, because
Okay.
I'm doing it in the order I read them.
Yep, sure.
So I read first book I read, Liam. Finished off reading A Blade of Black Steel, which is the sequel to a Crown of Cold Steel, I think.
No, I don't think that's what it was called.
A Crown of Cold Silver.
That's it. Thank you.
I'm so good. Anyway, I
Wait,
read
the
that.
book was so good, or
Huh?
what was so good?
I'm so good.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Liam. Thank you. So, whatever. Liam's going to bitch and moan about this book anyway, so what's the point? Who even cares?
Oh, no, I care. I really want to hear what happens next.
No, you don't. I'm also not going to talk about what happens next, Liam. What I want to talk about with this book
Yeah.
is I've fallen into another trap
Okay.
where I've read a part of a series,
Yeah.
got super into it, and then discovered that it is currently being published, and I'm now fucked, and the third one's not out yet.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, it is. Because, honestly, I really enjoyed this book. Probably for... there's not any huge changes from the first one, it just carries on the story.
Who's it by?
It's by Liam, Alex Marshall.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, it just continues the story. It's got the same characters doing the shit they do, sort of they're partly evil, partly good. You get a few twists and turns in it, like some pretty brutal stuff happens with...
Is this the one that was, like, not grimdark, but not...
Yeah, this new genre that they separated it into.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's done a lot... It's got a bit more enticing in that it was doing this very obvious, like, these guys are meant to be the baddies, but they're sort of the good guys in that they were fighting a sort of evil empire.
Okay.
So it's like bad people fighting worse people is the sort of...
So is it
tone they went
like,
for.
imagine Star Wars, but not being told from the Rebels' point of view?
Yeah, almost. It's like having stormtroopers that you were following, and you were like, oh, these guys are really cool, but they are sort of the baddies.
Yeah, okay.
Like, these people do horrible things to achieve their goals.
I was more thinking, like, imagine with, like, Star Wars, right? So you got the Emperor. Now,
Yeah.
you've got the Rebels. A lot of people will probably be living quite happily under the Emperor, like, just getting on with their lives.
I mean, the issue with that is that the Empire is blatantly xenophobic to aliens.
But surely some people would be like...
Yeah,
not-
like the
not
humans,
like-
but I don't think that's... This book's different in that, like, I don't think anyone's... Even the evil Empire aren't like, well, they are sort of horrible. I don't know. No, because this
Okay,
evil Empire
so-
was. No one would look at the rebels and be like, they're the big bad guys.
What if you, like, liked the Empire?
No. I'm not talking about the people in the universe, Liam, because we aren't living in these universes. We are experiencing them.
Right, so, but what
So,
I was
like,
trying to
I'm
say
saying,
is,
if
like...
it was told from the perspective of
Yeah.
some humans that were living on a colony and were
Yeah.
like, oh, these rebels keep doing horrible things,
Yes,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
fighting us, they would still, in that book or film, you would eventually have to come to the realization, oh wait, the rebels are fighting against this horrible
Okay.
dictator.
Yeah.
Right? This book doesn't feel like it's getting to a twist where I'm going to be like, oh no, my guys are the real baddies.
Okay. When's the next book out?
No idea.
Okay.
But anyway, Liam,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, I just have questions.
The thing that's good about this, it's taken a weird, like, there's a religion in the world called the Burnished Chain, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And they're like the real baddies. Like, they are the ones that are... People are born with mutations in this world where they look a bit disfigured, and the
Okay.
church mutilates them to fix their problems. Like,
Okay.
basically tortures these people. One of them has a forked tongue, so they sew it together.
Yeah.
Like, cut off tails and shit like that.
Yeah.
So and in the second book, they suddenly get a lot more power, and people start to ally against them in like I see, we actually do need to stop these guys because they're trying to end the world. So, I don't know. It's like an interesting continuation to the story, and I'm excited for the next one, but it's annoyed me that it's not out yet.
Has it got, like, elves and orcs and stuff, or is it all just, like, humans?
No, they're all humans.
Okay. And I can't remember. I think I asked this last time. I can't remember. Was it more like political or...
Not a lot of political stuff. Like, you're following a group of sort of rebels, effectively.
Yeah.
It's not very political, but it's also not all-out open combat.
Okay.
Like, they're with an army, but so far I think there have been 2 battles.
Okay.
Like, the second book especially is very condensed. Like, the time it takes place over
Yeah.
feels very short,
Okay.
which is a good thing, because, like, you'll have a bit that drags you back and makes it very obvious that this is actually the day after this battle, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus, so much has happened, which sort of feels real, in real life.
Yeah.
Things
And-
don't break up into nice, orderly, once a week something happens.
Yeah. And do you know if the third one's going to be the last one, or is it just like? Do you know?
I'm assuming it's a trilogy, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it gets a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. So why not higher?
Because I always give them too high, so now I'm trying to make one a little bit lower so that people pay attention.
But like, there's got to be a reason for giving it a bit lower, right? Like, there's got to be.
There's not enough of my favourite character in it.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Thank you.
So the second book I read, Liam.
Yes.
I've realised there is actually a third book that I am going to talk about, so sorry about that.
That's all right.
But the second book, Liam,
Yeah.
was a book you recommended to me.
Oh yeah.
It was Fluke
Yes.
by
Yeah.
James
Yeah.
Herbert.
Herbert.
Herbert, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I recommended this to you because I was bored of hearing you talk about fantasy and sci-fi shit all the time. So I thought, let's mix it up a bit. So this is an author that my mum actually got me reading because she used to like collect all of his books. He's predominantly a horror author, but I didn't give you one of his horror books.
No, I don't know why you didn't.
Because this is the book of his that I remember the best, I think.
Okay.
So I can't like vouch for any of the horror ones because I don't remember them that well. And if I remember rightly, with James Herbert, a lot of the times I think I used to find his horror books were really good, and then he'd always like mess up the ending somehow.
Okay.
And I remember like I read this as a kid, so like easily probably 15 years ago plus now, and I just remember really enjoying it.
Yeah. So basically, it's about a man who turns into a dog.
What's it called?
Fluke.
There we go. Thank you.
I think I said that.
Yeah, maybe, but I just didn't hear, so just in case.
It's about a man that turns into a dog, and you sort of follow his dog life.
But it doesn't. I think turns into a dog is not
Oh,
the
sorry.
right way.
He dies and gets reincarnated as a dog.
Yeah, there's no magic
Sorry.
involved in his turning into a dog.
Sorry.
What?
He remembers being a human, which is unusual for animals in this world. Some do, though. There are other ones who
But
sort of
it's
vaguely
definitely more
remember.
reincarnation than like a witch turned him into a dog.
Yeah, no, it is reincarnation, yes.
Yeah.
It's still magic.
Okay.
Sorry to all our listeners out there who believe in reincarnation.
I mean, these are Jack's opinions, not opinions of the Nerd.
This
on
also
Nerd podcast.
definitely isn't a religious reincarnation in this book.
Yeah.
They're not practicing Buddhists.
Or black magic, I guess.
Whatever, anyway.
Yeah.
We're getting distracted. It's okay. I didn't hate this book. I kept reading it.
Okay.
I finished it.
Yeah.
My main issues with it were...
Yeah.
One, So about halfway through this book, I was trying to figure out why you'd sort of suggested this to me and why you hate the fantasy when I talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I've sort of figured it out, what my issue with you acting like that is.
Okay.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
The fantasy books that I read, I don't do a very good job of describing the differences in them.
No, you don't. They all blend.
But in the fantasy world, and just in books in general, all books cover a wide range of things. Like, the fantasy genre doesn't make sense. Neither does sci-fi. There's not. Sci-fi is a really shite description for a lot of different genres, as is fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, that book I was talking about is just humans, and there's very little magic. And then there's other genres that are all different races and full magic and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
This book is a fantasy book.
Okay.
It doesn't have elves in it. It doesn't have, different races. It doesn't have magic. Sort of, it does, but not really.
Yeah.
But it is a fantasy book in that it's following the same sort of plot lines these books follow. It's not set in a particularly different time period to some of these books.
Yeah.
Like, so, to me, you just gave me a different fantasy book to read. It's got less swords in it.
I think the issue with it, with the reviews, is that you describe the books badly. Because
definitely.
Yeah, if you describe the books better, so it was easier to distinguish what the differences between them were.
But when
I'd
I do
have
that, when
less
I try and do
issues.
that, Liam, you then complain that I'm not doing other things well. And I'm very aware that we have a limited time on this show. We do 6 fucking things in a segment that, in reality, has to last about 15 minutes and is already at 30.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the issue. Also, I always go second, so I'm even more aware of how much time. Also, I edit them, so I'm also super aware of how much time I'm taking. So I don't get to spend a huge amount of time talking about my bits. And if I had all the time in the world, Liam, I'd describe them better.
I'm sure you could describe them better, but succinctly.
I don't think so.
Well...
Anyway, Fluke's shite.
What?
It's not. But it's just, I could see that you when you said to me, oh, I really enjoyed this when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, 100%. I would have loved this book when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't love it so much as an adult.
Yeah, like, I haven't read it for ages. I just remember, like, at the time we had a dog, and I just remember the book made me, like, look at the dog differently.
Yeah, were you like, oh my god, what if this dog is a person?
Yeah. No, but
don't know,
I think it does a good way of like getting into the like, even though it is a human, it still does a good way of like some of the things that dogs do. You could kind of like be like, wait, that was very like.
Yeah, it also the like animals in this world that are reincarnated. Basically, at some point you discover they are all reincarnated.
I don't remember, but sure.
You do, but you find out that it's very rare for them to remember anything, and Fluke is particularly special.
Yeah.
In that he remembers way too much.
Yeah.
But
because it's about him essentially, like, it gets reincarnated and it's him tracking down his old family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He remembers something bad happening, and it's him trying to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And protect his family from the badness.
See, I thought you'd like potentially shed a tear over this book.
I didn't, because nothing bad happens in it.
I don't remember.
There's one character that dies.
Yeah. That
is sad, but even then, by the point that they do that, it was pretty obvious that was going to happen.
Okay.
But like, I don't know, it's the best thing about this book was the slight twist ending, which is good, and it came as a surprise. I didn't see it coming particularly.
I don't remember it.
No, I'm not going to talk about it either.
No,
it's spoiler free.
Yeah.
But there's a good twist ending. I don't know. It just like the rest of it. There was just too much meandering around, and like they would. It felt like the book was broken up into these sections that weren't furthering the story.
Okay.
Then something would happen, and Fluke would be like, "Oh, right, yeah, I'm part of a big story. Sorry, my bad. I've got to carry on that." Then he'd get somewhere else, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fuck around for another 2 chapters."
Okay, that's fair.
And then something would happen, and he'd go, "Shit, yeah, main story," which makes sense. He's a dog, and they make it very clear that whilst he remembers being a man, he is a dog in this book, and he has all the thoughts a dog has.
Yeah.
It's just that he remembers the man thoughts too.
Yeah, I remember, like, I think there's a bit where he describes, like, having to kind of go to toilet in public, essentially. Is that right? Maybe not, I don't know. I thought there was a bit like that.
Maybe?
Is it about him being, like, really embarrassed and ashamed of having to kind of do it in public?
No, I don't think so, because he's, like, a puppy for half it and just pisses himself everywhere. I mean, in this book, he pees a lot.
Fair enough.
And just in random places.
I will say, this is probably one of your better reviews in that, like, maybe you need to read more books that you can be critical of, because I feel like you've done a good job.
Well, just suggest me some more books that you like, Liam, and I'm sure I'll find them critical things.
Well, I've got 2 more suggestions for you at the end of this section.
Oh, good. Fantastic.
Yep. So, Fluke, out of 5?
2.5.
Okay, and...
perfectly average book.
For our listeners, if you like Jack reviewing something a little bit different, let him know.
No one fucking listens anyway, so what does it matter?
I'm sure they listen, but I feel like they just kind of grin and bear it and get through this section.
Anyway, the last book that I read, Liam...
Yeah.
Which I'll do... Oh, I don't want to do... Whatever. It's called Mind Players. It's by Pat Cadigan.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
Technically sci-fi, but not really.
Okay. Why not really?
Because it's more... Because, I don't know, it doesn't feel... It's set in the future.
Yeah.
There's technology that we don't have, right?
Yeah.
But it's not set in space. It's not set with, like, weird aliens, and it's not dealing with a lot of the subjects that sci-fi usually would deal with.
Okay.
So basically, it's about this girl who, in the future, our minds are totally, like, understood by science, right?
Yeah.
On the street, you can buy, effectively, insanity.
Okay.
It's illegal. You're not legally allowed to be insane. But everyone in the future is just so bored with our lives that the way we feel, like the way we get, exciting things to happen is people illegally buy drugs that make them paranoid and literally give them paranoia for like an hour.
Yeah.
So this girl takes this drug that gives her psychosis for a certain amount of time. Yeah. From this dodgy drug dealer sort of guy.
Okay.
The police discover that she's done that and arrest her. And they find out the one she takes is broken and makes her psychotic for after she's taken the thing out that makes her psychotic.
Yeah.
So they basically take her to this mind cleaner that cleans out your mind and gets rid of all the bad shit.
Okay. Is that a bit like Eternal Sunshine?
Sort of. They don't make her forget anything, though. They just take out this... Because the psychotic stuff isn't there, it got put in.
Right, okay.
So they take out the stuff that shouldn't be there, effectively.
Yeah.
But that's someone's job in the future. There's, like, a literal job where you go into someone's mind and help them get rid of this shit. Okay?
So when you do that, do you literally you go see what mind. They're seeing sort of thing?
No, you go into this weird... You go into their mind, and everyone visualizes these worlds in their mind that they live in. It's a bit like if you've ever played the video game Psychonauts.
Nope.
Nope, fair enough. Okay, pretty big game. A lot of people played it. Anyway, But basically, they say to her, you're either going to go to jail,
Yeah.
or you can go to school, learn how to go into people's minds and do these things, and make a career out of that because it's your first offence, and we don't want to arrest you.
Okay.
So this whole book becomes about her learning how to go into other people's minds, and she ends up becoming a pathos finder, and her job is to help you. Basically, if like an actor gets fed up of acting,
Yeah.
her job is to help them get over that.
Right. Okay.
And like find out why they wanted to do something and help them relearn to love it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like this book is such a mindfuck.
It sounds like, from the description, I could be way off, it sounds like a YA sort of book.
No,
No?
very much not.
So, okay, because from the description, it definitely sounds like it could fit into that category.
I mean, that's literally that description is just the beginning of the book. Like this book goes out through her entire life.
Okay, does it get like darker or anything then? Like, what makes it more adult?
Well, if you're in there's these people
Yeah.
who they get so fucked up from doing all these mind things. It's possible to like just totally lose yourself or to get your mind stolen.
Okay.
So one of the sort of drug event like type things that people are doing that isn't illegal is they wear other people's personalities. So someone who needs money will sell their personality, get copies of it made.
Yeah.
People put that over their own personality.
Yeah.
So that they act like that person.
Yeah.
Like that's how, and people do that, and I can't remember what they call them. They call them something. But like to do that, you can either get people that sell their personalities, or some people rip it out and like steal your whole mind effectively. So you're just a blank slate.
Yeah.
And you get a couple of characters in this book who are just blank slates, who have had enough time for a new personality to grow in their mind.
Okay.
And they're just these really fucked up people because like it's horrifying. Like when she talks to these people and goes in their minds and sees what's happening, they're just the most broken, like sad people because they're like, I have this adult body. People know who I am because they've seen me before.
Yeah.
And I'm not him. I'm not this body.
It sounds a bit like I guess like people that suffer from like Alzheimer's and stuff.
Sort of, but instead of forgetting and just like losing it, these people are new people.
Right. Okay.
Because it's not that they've forgotten their past, it's that literally they've started from scratch again.
Yeah, so they just don't understand like why people they understand why people recognise them and that, but
because they get taught again. It's just that they're like, I know that I was someone else.
Yeah.
Or this body was owned by someone else, but I'm not him. And how do I live in this world where there was someone else here before me, sort of thing. It's like, it gets really deep into all these like psychological, like what makes you you.
Yeah.
What does being you mean? There's this whole thing with twins trying to synchronize their minds, so they're not like they already look like each other.
Yeah.
So this one group of people are like, well, what happens if we think exactly the same?
Yeah.
So it like deals with a lot of like psychological, like what would this mean for everyone?
Okay.
And following it through this character's perspective is interesting because while she's helping do this sort of work, she didn't want to be it when she was younger, and she's sort of a bit of an outsider to it.
Yeah.
Like, she's not addicted to any of the mind stuff apart from the taking drugs to make herself insane. But, like,
that's only
genuinely...
like temporary insanity, is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But, like, it's fascinating, like, this take on the future and the idea of what people could do.
Yeah. Is this like a standalone book or part of a series?
I think it's standalone. I couldn't find any. Pat Cadigan has done a bunch of other sort of cyberpunky sci-fi books. And I read one of them, which was quite good.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, it was genuinely a really good read. Like, made me think a lot.
Fair enough. That's good. Out of 5?
I think this one's a 4, but a legit 4.
Not bad.
Like, not for my usual reasons of there was magic and aliens.
So what's the only thing that like dragged it down a little bit for you?
A couple of times it got a little bit too complicated with the like metaphors in people's minds and stuff and what it was trying to say.
Okay.
So that.
Yeah, fair enough.
What are the 2 books you want me to read, Liam?
I thought of a third, but I've got 3 now. So
Go on.
The first one is a suggestion from friend of the show, Kat Fyson. She wants you to read Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King.
Yep. So I looked this up before, and it came out quite recently. Well,
yeah, it's
3
a
years
part
ago,
of a trilogy that I think has recently come out. She's only read the first one. I think she wants to read the second and third.
The issue with this, Liam, is if I can't read this first because I will have to read the trilogy.
Yeah, that's fine. So maybe do this one last. Because the other 2 that I want to recommend, I think, are just standalone.
Okay.
But yeah, so apparently, according to Kat, there's something that happens towards the beginning of Miss Mercedes that she didn't want to tell me because they're turning it into a TV show as well.
Oh, okay.
But she said it was handled really well, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, she wants you to read that.
Interesting.
I have 2 recommendations for you. One, I don't know if you've read before, actually. So have you ever read American Psycho?
No.
Bret Easton Ellis, I believe it's by.
Is it what the film's based on?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read it.
Have you seen the film?
No.
Okay, so I remember I read this way back when I was at college, and then immediately after I watched the film, and the film to me, I literally finished this book, and the same day I think the film was being shown on like Channel 4 or something that night.
Oh, okay.
And the film just didn't compare. Now,
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, this was like a fair few years ago, so I want to rewatch the film to see if maybe it was just like the love of the book was clouding my judgment.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wanted a horror. I've gone to the classics. I think you'd find this in a lot of like best horror book sort of list.
Okay.
The next one I think is more up your street, and that I think it's like a horror with maybe a dash of fantasy, perhaps.
Okay.
It's called Nocturnal, and it's by Scott Sigler.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
It's possible. He's done other books.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've maybe read one of his others or something, or you're aware of him. I'm just seeing if there's anything on Wikipedia like what his like most popular book was. Doesn't really say, to be honest. He's done like trilogies. He's done like a Galactic Football League series, an Infected trilogy.
I haven't read that, but I've heard about the yeah.
Yeah, so you're aware of him then.
I've had that recommended to me before, the fantasy, the football space league one.
Yeah. So yeah, this is called Nocturnal.
Okay.
That's probably the most recent book I've read. One of the most recent books. Probably read that in the last like 5 years or so.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the recommendations for you. Now, maybe don't do them all for next time.
Well,
but if you want to, go for it.
Seeing as you've recommended me 3, Liam, can I recommend you one book?
You can, but I don't know when I'll get around to it.
Okay, read The Stand.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, there we go then.
Housekeeping.
Have you done anything for housekeeping, Liam?
No. Have you?
No.
We've got some tweets.
Okay, read them out.
Tom Hogan tweeted us saying, culture swap suggestion. The hit 90s show, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, the later seasons with Jonathan Frakes are best.
Yep, we're doing them.
I don't know how I'm going to get hold of it.
Don't care.
Okay. We've just... So, someone that tweeted us last time about the book, the Liam Peter everyone else were tweeting about the book, they just clarified that their son's name is Liam, which is why they wanted to buy the book for him, and they realised that they probably should have mentioned that. They just assumed that we knew that, which is, they said, by far one of the dumbest things they've ever done.
Well, the weird thing is, Liam,
Yeah.
I did know that.
We've got a few tweets like Amanda saying to watch Wonder Woman. She needs to hear your thoughts since she tends to agree with you more than me on superheroes.
Yeah, well, that episode is now up.
Yeah, so Amanda, let us know. Do you agree more with Jack or with Liam? Because I think we kind of came to like the same sort of conclusions with it.
But
think maybe
so.
Not.
I think there were a few differences in certain parts, but it's one of the ones that we were more united on than usual.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's about it, to be honest. Yeah,
is that it, Liam?
Yeah.
Yeah, should we move on to Culture Swap then?
Yes, we should.
Okay. Well, just very, very quickly.
So, what do we do for Culture Swap then?
Just so quick though, Liam. Sorry. Just very quickly. The number as it currently stands is 1,086 films that Liam has to watch. Liam?
Yeah. And the goal was?
I believe your original goal was to get it below 1,000.
By the end of the year.
Yeah. So 86 films, doable. It's a lot, but it's doable.
Yeah.
It is a high goal. So assumedly, what's that? That's 2 weeks since we did the count?
Yeah, I've been busy though.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's 14 days. Let's say one every 2 days. 7 films off. You probably bought two extra films. I'd probably accept. So let's say you've knocked off 5. So I'll just type in 1,081. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? I've had to buy a couple of films. So I've had to buy one of the films for what we're doing next time. So we're having a very special guest on.
Yeah.
I've also had to buy Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, which I'm going to make you watch at some point, as long as you're aware of this.
Right. Why did you have to buy that one there?
Because someone saw a review I did on Letterboxd of a Zac Efron film, The Derby Stallion.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And they reached out to me and asked if I would come on their Zac Efron podcast, please.
Is Zac Efron in Sharpay's Adventure?
No.
Oh, okay.
But this is a film this is the next thing they're doing. They want me on the next episode. And they kind of thought it would be funny to have me, who they found because of my love of Zac Efron. They've obviously got a podcast about their love of Zac Efron, so they think it'd be hilarious to have me on an episode to talk about a film that doesn't have Zac Efron in it.
Yeah, so it's three people
Yep,
that love Zac Efron, and all three of you will be talking about a film that doesn't star him.
I believe so. Yeah, I haven't had, because I've been away for the last 4 days and it's happened over the last couple of days. I haven't had a chance to listen to their podcast yet, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, it sounds interesting. So okay,
Yeah.
that's 2 that you've had to buy, which is what I said. So
Yeah.
you've assumedly watched 7.
Well, no,
total.
but then I found a box set that I forgot I had.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's been added on. What box set, Liam?
it's a Home Alone box set.
How many films?
5.
Ooh, painful. Ooh, so that would be 7. So that's okay. That'd still be coming out at 1086. So
And then, bloody went to HMV, didn't I?
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you get?
Oh, bloody 5 for 30, wasn't it?
Of course you did.
But I got 2 of them.
Pun?
Got 2 of them.
You got 2 5 for 30s.
Yep.
You got a 10 for 60.
Yep.
Okay, that's increased the number a little bit. We're now to 1096.
And there have just been other things that have happened, alright? So we're at 1,103.
Oh, I've typed it in. Well, Liam, I know I've not been keeping very good track of this list, but that is the biggest increase so far.
Yeah.
It's that is 17 films. The
Yeah.
change. It's increased by 17.
Yeah, but okay, so we know Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. I'm recording with them next Sunday, so that's one that's definitely got to be watched.
Yeah.
So, you know, it should at least be down by 1.
No, it won't be.
As long as I don't
We
buy
both
any
know
more.
the fact that you bought 2 5 for 30s.
Well, the thing is, I was doing it because I saw Swiss Army Man was in the 5 for 30, and I'm really keen to see that film. So I was
Yeah.
finding some others. I got up to 3 in the 5 for 30. But then I saw that they had the Transporter 2, the Transporter 3, and the Transporter Refueled. So, and then I had to start like a new 5 for 30.
You should have just
essentially.
knocked off the other ones you'd got to make up Swiss Army Man. You had a 5 for 30 there.
It's not how it worked out though, is it?
No, clearly not.
And I bought a couple of 4K films the week before, like John Wick Chapter 2.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I did another 5 for 30, I think, the week before as well.
Well, I'll be honest with you, buddy. It's not going well.
No, so it's 103 films now to watch by the end of the year.
So what's that? That's 6 more months.
Yeah, it's doable.
It is, yeah.
It's just, it's. I think we might have to like readjust the goalposts.
Okay, I will readjust the goalpost for you, Liam.
Okay.
So the first number that I wrote on this sheet
Yeah.
was 1091.
Right.
Your goal by the end of the year
Yeah.
is to be on or below that.
Okay, I think that's doable. That's 12, isn't it, at the moment to watch?
Yeah, simple.
Easy.
Piss easy.
And that was housekeeping.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
What did we do this time, Liam?
This was recommended by Amanda. It was called Black Hole, and it was by Charles Burns.
Yep.
I'm just checking if anyone else was involved. Susan Moore lettered the entire book.
Was there an artist?
I think it was Charles Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did the story and the art for it.
Okay, cool.
So, there's some dedications, but I won't read those out. There's a lot.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
And John Kuamato got a thank you for his technical assistance.
Okay, I don't think we need to read the people he thanked.
We very quickly found some issues though, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, is this the issue that I think that you're talking about?
The fact that the book doesn't have all of the content.
You're right. Yeah. So weirdly, Liam had the graphic novel.
Let's not forget I ordered it twice.
Yeah, Liam had to buy the graphic novel twice because he accidentally bought the German translation.
Yeah, the paperback version was in German, which I was not aware of.
So you had to buy the hardback, which you don't like.
I don't like doing it, Jack. It's heavy.
Too heavy for little Liam's arms.
It's just like uncomfortable. And like with a paperback, you kind of like, as you go through the book, it kind of remembers where you are, but you don't get that with a hardback so much. And also, do you read a lot, yeah? What's the point of a dust jacket?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I hate them.
Originally, it was to protect the actual cover of the book, I think, from damage.
Right, but I just took it off, and I've had a much more pleasurable experience than in the past when I've tried to read books and keep them on.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think dust jackets annoy me quite a lot.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so your version had more content, didn't it?
I got the actual issues, because it's a 12 issues of this comic book. And we noticed when I asked Liam about something, I can't remember what it was that made me think, oh, maybe you hadn't read it. There was some question, or we were talking about something. And in the issues, at the start of each issue, you get a big picture of one of the kids in the comic book's faces.
Yeah.
Then a big picture of it after it's been infected with this disease.
Oh,
and
by the way, spoilers. There will be spoilers.
Lots of spoilers. If you're going to read Black Hole, stop listening.
Yeah. Would you recommend people read it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so on that second picture at the bottom, there's a quote, which I don't know whose perspective it's meant to be from.
Like if it's from the kids or just from like someone else.
Yeah, it's someone. It's definitely one of the kids, but I can't tell if it's the same kid who does each quote, and I don't know which kid it is.
Okay.
But basically, that doesn't add to the story, but it sort of explains something or adds some element.
Yeah.
So, like, one of them is about how one of them explains how the disease doesn't explain how it spreads, but explains that there is a disease. So before the first issue, the first quote is someone being like, "There's this disease, and it's spreading across all the teenagers, and only teenagers can be infected." So you're like, that like gives you that little bit of information that you didn't have in your version.
Yeah, which is annoying.
It's just weird. I don't know why they didn't have him in it.
No, I don't understand either.
Because genuinely, like if it had an impact, because in the last issue, the quote explained something that you didn't know.
Exactly.
Which, like, you know, all the other ones are little things, but that last issue has a very, like, one that changes the way the last issue sort of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very odd. Immediately, we've noticed that there's that difference.
Yes. I think that's the only difference, but it still is just bizarre, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Also, do you get in the graphic novel? Did you get the cover art for any of the? Because you know sometimes they do like a summary of the covers.
No.
Because they're very different to what you'd expect.
What are the covers?
Their colour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got none of that.
Yeah, like so the first issue is the torn off skin.
Yeah.
Standing up like a person with a giant hole in it.
Okay. Yeah, didn't get that.
But like they're all coloured in, and like considering.
The rest is like very just obviously black and white. It's
black and white inked. There's no shading, there's obviously shadow, but not, there's no blend between the black and the white. It's just very clear cut ink.
Yeah.
Boom. So yeah, kind of odd. But I was just wondering if you'd seen them.
No.
That's annoying.
Yes, it is.
I sort of feel like you missed out, really.
Yeah, which is it is definitely frustrating because I brought it twice and neither of them have this in it.
Yeah, it's weird as well because it's not the way you think if you're buying the graphic novel, the collected works of this series.
Well, no, you say that, but so I've recently started getting the issues of The Walking Dead. So I've always got like the collected volumes. The issues have like a letter section at the back where people write in and like Robert Kirkman and someone else who's involved respond. And that isn't in the collected volumes either.
Yeah, no, the letters thing makes sense to me.
It makes sense.
Very common.
I just that doesn't really affect the story. Whereas obviously the stuff that's being cut out here, is a part of the story.
It's minor, but it is definitely part of the story.
Yeah, so it's frustrating.
Yeah, definitely.
But that aside, what did you think?
So this comic, this whole series is weird, but it is my kind of weird. Like, this is the kind of shit I like.
What kind of weird is that?
I don't know. It's I don't know how to explain it because and I've spoken about it on this show. One of my least favorite kinds of horror films is torture porn and body shock stuff. I hate it.
Yeah. Okay.
But in comic books, I love the body morphing shit. I think it's fascinating in comics, and I don't know why that's different.
Yeah. So when you say body horror stuff, are we talking Cronenberg sort of stuff, Videodrome?
I don't know what that is.
Give me an example of the body horror stuff that you don't like.
So what's the Kevin Smith one with the
Oh,
walrus?
Tusk.
Yeah, like I've never watched Tusk, but I've watched like scenes from it, and they really fuck me up. I hate watching them
Why have you watched just scenes from it?
because I wanted to see what it was about. So I was like, oh, I'll watch the trailer after you told me about it.
Yeah.
And then the trailer freaked me out, and I was like, I don't want to watch this film. And then I was like, maybe it will make more sense if I watch one of the scenes where he's being like tortured. And I was like, nope, definitely don't want to watch this film.
Okay.
So I guess this is less torture-y.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
that's the difference.
it is, but I'm just trying to think, like, when you say it freaks you out,
Yeah.
isn't that a good thing for a horror movie?
No, but it's not like... There's a difference between the good kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
So like being spooky ghosts, right?
Yeah.
A spooky ghost will spook me out, and I'll be like, oh my god. Oof. I'll walk around my house and I'll be like, oh my god, what if there's something behind me? Ah. Whereas torture, I'm not like, ooh, what if I get kidnapped and my legs sewn together? I'm like, oh god, I don't want that to happen to me ever. So like that's the difference for me.
Right, okay.
I mean, this isn't weird. This is a thing. This is why people don't watch horror films, right?
Well, yeah, but I've never understood
Like, there are people that
that
don't like being scared. I don't like being scared in that way.
Yeah, no, okay, so I totally get that. I just don't get, like the whole point of horror is to be scared. So if there's a thing that scares you, then surely those are the things that you should be watching because they're going to be the most effective horror films, right?
Yeah, but like I said... No, Liam. It's not all one type of scared. Like, the way I'm scared of someone stabbing me with a knife is very different to the way I'm scared of spiders.
Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, so I like the spookiest like horror films that I find are probably ghost stuff. But
Yeah.
equally, I'm not like, well, I'm not going to watch the ghost stuff.
No. I agree. I'm terrified of ghost children.
Yeah.
So they are the horror films that I will watch to be scared, right?
Yeah.
But body horror and, like, the, like, torture stuff,
Yeah.
it's less... I think it's less that I'm scared of it and more that it just disgusts me. That the idea of someone being able to do that to someone else, or the idea of that happening to someone and them not being able to help it, is upsetting to me less than it is... Like, it's not... I'm not scared...
Right, okay.
per se. So like when I'm watching Saw, I'm not like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen to me. I'm just like, this is genuinely upsetting me that the idea that this could happen to someone.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like
think
maybe
I understand that better.
I think
yeah.
I was describing it poorly. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Okay.
So I guess it's different in a comic because it's I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I don't. I mean, this
It's weird.
No,
I
okay,
agree,
but
it's
in
weird.
this comic, right? It's not like it's not like someone's going around torturing other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And so this is what I was asking because like a Cronenberg, like a body horror type of film like that.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So David Cronenberg does these like body horror type films, and they're more in line with like this comic book than they are with like the Saw type films that you're talking about, where it's someone inflicting that sort of thing on someone else.
Yeah, so maybe I should give one of them a watch then.
Yeah, like there's a really famous bit in Videodrome where this guy essentially has like a slot open up in his stomach that he can put like a videotape inside.
Oh, okay.
But so that's like body horror. But do you see what I mean? It's a lot more like this comic and less like Saw.
Yeah, I think the issue was as I started talking about what it was that upset me, it was very obvious that it was the torture side of it more
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe I'm just not a fan of torture, which I guess is a good thing to not be a fan of.
I mean, yeah, but you know, what about like 24?
But when I've seen like the first 2 seasons.
Like that has like a torture-y theme.
Yeah, but it's not like. But in 24, I assume they get out of it. I don't really remember.
He
Like in an
tortures
act-
some people to get information
Like in
from
James
them.
Bond, right? There's the
Yeah.
James Bond. Is it Casino Royale scene where he gets whipped on the chair?
Yes.
Yeah, that's upsetting to watch. But also, it's James Bond, so you know he's getting away.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's the torture stuff where there's like you're not sure that someone's going to escape and get revenge. You're just like, oh, these people are just being tortured and then they die.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I'm honestly, I'm trying to figure it out as we speak. Like this isn't something I've considered. I haven't broken down what it is about them I don't like before.
Yeah. No, I think we should do some Cronenberg films on a later episode because I do think
Okay.
you'd like them.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, let's get back to Black Hole.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I liked it enough. I didn't love it.
Yep.
It was a big read compared to like the comic books we normally read. This was because normally we'd do like a volume, wouldn't we?
I mean, this is a volume. It's just I think what's a volume usually 1 to 6 issues,
Yeah.
and this is 12. So it's I guess double the length of what we would typically read.
Yeah, so it's a big read, but
Yeah.
it was good. I definitely think Amanda would have recommended this more for you than for me.
I think the weirdness of it, appeal would. I could see Amanda being like, "Oh, this is kind of weird," which Jack has shown an interest in from things like Nameless, right?
Yeah.
But I can also see why Amanda suggested it to you.
Why is that?
Because there's a lot of vaginas in it.
That's true.
And vagina-shaped things.
Yeah, but there are also a lot of penises and penis-shaped things.
And you, as we know, you like to see a good penis.
Well, I don't know if we have to say a good penis.
Sorry, you just like to see a penis.
Yeah, I find it very noticeable when you've seen like boobs and a vagina but no penis.
Yeah, this book definitely doesn't feel like it's being like, look at all these boobs.
No, it's not one-sided like that.
It's also not, I don't think, whereas some stuff will play the whole like, like, oh, look at the boobs, it's part of the film, but really we all know that we're putting these boobs here so that people will watch it.
Yeah.
This didn't feel like they were being like, nudity, let's use that. It felt more like, oh no, this is definitely, there's a reason that this is here.
Yeah, it was part of the story. So some of the stuff I liked was like the whole, like, there's definitely a coming of age aspect to it, right? Like one of the themes is definitely like leaving your childhood behind and like entering adulthood, that kind of, it's that phase.
Should we really quickly do a summary of what this is?
Yeah, go on.
I just realised we haven't done one.
Go on, do that.
Oh god, I'm bad at them. So this graphic novel follows two main characters.
Maybe three.
It follows a bunch of people.
Like three main characters. I'd say the main characters it follows would be Chris, Rob, and Keith.
Yeah, alright, fair enough, yeah. So it follows sort of three main characters in this town where a sexually transmitted disease is being spread amongst the teenage population. The disease it varies. Some people can have almost no noticeable effects and can hide it, and others become horribly disfigured or mutate and grow limbs, or like really extreme stuff. Like someone at one point turns into a snake body with a head.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're following these characters as they try and they don't try and deal with it. They just try to sort of deal with regular teenage emotions in this weird situation.
Yes, that's right.
And inevitably, all three of them end up infected, and you sort of deal with how they each deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so sorry. Carry on with your point, Lip.
I've forgotten it.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, so no, so I was saying, like, I like the idea, like the whole coming of agey, the leaving the childhood behind and entering adulthood and all that sort of stuff. I loved the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork in this is incredible.
The thing is, I had issues with it, Jack.
Okay.
Similar issues to what I had with Nameless, in that I felt that the way the story was presented was like a little needlessly convoluted. Like there's a few like time jumps, and I think if the time jumps had added to the story, so like say something happens earlier on, like in the book, happens earlier on in the book, and then later on you find out that thing actually happened later in the chronology of the story, but what you found out in between then kind of informs the bit you read earlier on differently. It wouldn't be so bad, but I feel like the time jumps don't actually add much to the story, perhaps.
Yeah, well, one of the issues with the time jumps is that there's sort of two different types they use in this book.
Yeah.
So very noticeably in the first issue, before we recorded, I was checking to make sure that I understood some stuff.
Yeah.
And Liam then, when I was talking about it, had noticed the same thing. That at the end of the first issue, there is a section where you effectively see a scene from a lot later in the books.
Yeah.
For no reason. It doesn't add anything, like Liam's saying. It doesn't add to the story. It doesn't inform you of anything. It's just from later on in the books, and they don't explain it, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right, so that's one type. The other type that they also throw in are like dreams, where a character will have a dream, and things happen in that dream that do happen later on. Those ones are less bad, like they're less weird. Like they're weird. They're less
of an issue. Yeah,
because it's a dream, and you're sort of like, oh, okay, it's like hinting that this thing's going to happen. Like a lot of Keith's dreams have Chris's foot cut open and him pulling something out of it, which later on in the book she does cut her foot open and he helps her bandage it up.
Yeah.
So like those ones make sense, but it is the ones where you sort of just suddenly see a scene from later on that doesn't appear to be a dream.
No. And it's obviously a time jump. And I think the other thing is it doesn't do a good job of setting like a time scale. So when it is jumping, it takes a lot of work on like the reader's behalf to figure out where that all fits in. Yeah,
no, definitely. There's also one of the other issues with that is I genuinely at the start of this whole thing,
Yeah.
found it difficult to differentiate some of the characters,
Yeah.
which isn't. Whilst the art style is amazing, sometimes it can be hard to tell them. But there was a whole scene, Liam,
Yeah.
where Chris, who for the listeners who haven't read this, is a female lead.
Yeah.
There was a whole scene where I didn't realise that it was Chris and not a dude. So when they suddenly had a scene with her with boobs, I was like, oh, this virus is really weird.
Wow. Yeah. No, I had that issue too, where a lot of the characters are drawn quite similarly without anything particularly like distinguishable about them.
Yes, yeah. The way you split apart characters in this is like one of Keith's friends always wears sunglasses and one of them has buck teeth, and you're like, okay, I now know those characters.
And it gets even more annoying when one of them, I think it might have been Keith, has a haircut halfway through.
Yes, yeah, he does. Yes.
Yeah, so that just doesn't help.
No. That's true. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's just so like now that I've read it, and again, this is kind of like ignorance on my behalf a bit, and I feel like I need to read more around it and into it, because I'm sure there's stuff in it that I'm not like immediately picking up on.
Oh, definitely. I definitely feel like there's like, it's annoying because I couldn't find. I did a little bit of research, and so I haven't gone particularly far into anything.
Yeah.
But I can't find a huge amount online of people like discussing it, because I don't like reading reviews of stuff where someone's, because they're just doing what we've done, like a first read.
Yeah.
And they say, this is my opinion. What I want to see is like the forum where some dude's read it 10 times and is like, you know what? When she sees the snake-headed boy in her dream at the beginning, that's very clearly talking about this thing. That's what I want, that breakdown. The guy that's way too into it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I can't find him, Liam.
No, like I think that, you know, so you have this obvious like STD stuff, and like that ties into the whole like AIDS kind of culture that you had in like the 70s, I think it was 70s, 80s.
Yeah, this was written in 95.
Yeah, exactly. So
because I was like, I wonder how closely, because it is obviously like, you know, at least we'll take some sort of inspiration from the AIDS crisis.
Yeah, and
inspiration might be the wrong word there. I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you definitely have that kind of element to it, which is interesting. But I feel like that's not the. I was expecting that to be like the primary focus.
Yes, same. From what Amanda had said, which wasn't a lot to be fair. She wasn't like, oh, you guys are going to like it because of this. She was just like, read this graphic novel.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it. It's about an STD. So I also went in being like, oh, is it just going to be all about them trying to figure out who's got the virus and stuff?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. But it's a lot more just about like living with a virus, I think.
Yeah, it felt to me. You know, I don't like reading into things in the way you do, but I could definitely see it. It's set in a time period where there was a very clear divide between the not genders, age difference. So like generations is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So like there was the, you know, a lot of the kids in this are doing drugs, and their parents are very like straight-laced parents.
Yeah.
So it definitely felt to me like that was more of a focus than the STD thing. Like these kids are. It's taking the idea that the two generations were very different, and it's making it even more noticeable when these kids are getting deformities and mutating, like, and effectively it leads to their parents throwing them out of their homes.
Yeah, or them just willingly leaving,
or them leaving
the home.
And being like, my parents won't accept me for this. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like that was more of a focus in it, the idea of that generational divide.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's an interesting like aspect to it, with that whole like not living up to your parents' expectations and standards.
Yes, because Chris is like at the beginning of the book is like a straight A student, right? And
popular,
there's a scene where she starts
attractive.
doing bad.
Yeah.
And then her parents are like, oh, it's because of a boy. And you're like, well, it is because of a boy, but it's also because she's terrified that she's going to mutate into a hideous monster.
So when she has sex with I think it's Keith, isn't it? No,
it's Rob.
Rob, sorry. So she gets the disease from Rob, and there's a moment when she sort of like starts having sex with him, and he kind of tries to explain, and she says, I know.
Yeah.
What do you think it was that she like misunderstood there?
I think he was going to say, like, I really like you. She thought he was going to do a big, like,
right, okay.
Look, I really like you, Chris, and I'm worried that we shouldn't do this because, you know, like the typical.
Yeah.
Like, she's a teenage girl, and she's like, oh, he's either really into me or he's going to be like, we shouldn't do this, and I just want to do it.
Yeah, and did you also get the vibe that part of this disease was that it did affect certain people, and it made them more attracted to you?
No, I can see why you're saying that.
Yeah, because to me it felt like part of the disease was that it triggered something in like a sexual situation that would then like cause you to be a lot more susceptible to someone's
I don't think it is. I think that the reason you felt that way
yeah
is because the characters that we follow in those situations have not something wrong with them, but like Chris is very obviously like desperate to find someone that loves her, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason she is very quick to be like, yes, Rob, because she's like been looking at Rob and she's like, oh, he wants me, let's do this.
Yeah.
Keith, when you first meet him, is bordering on obsession with Chris.
Yeah.
So then when he meets Eliza, I think the reason he's very attracted to her is that she's got the same... Like he says at one point that when Chris got the disease and he found out about it, he almost became more attracted to her because he thought it made her easier to get.
Okay.
So like he's already... That's not a good attitude to have.
No.
But he's like a teenage boy feeling those like that like just obsession over a girl.
Yeah.
So he meets Eliza. She's also got this disease, and it hasn't made her like Eliza. Nothing terrible has happened to her face. She's just grown a tail.
Yeah.
And he's like attracted to her because she's this beautiful girl that's interested in him.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other girls, he's been obsessed with Chris, who doesn't show much appreciation to him and that sort of thing. So I think the reason these characters seem to be more obsessed with characters that are infected are just because we're following characters that have those flaws.
Okay, that makes sense.
That was the impression I got. I didn't...
Yeah.
You know, like, I might not be right. It could be that he's like, no, fuck yes, the disease made people madly in love with each other.
Yeah. So, who was your favourite character?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought it was Eliza. Because you asked me a question before we started recording.
Yeah.
Would you like to repeat that?
Yeah.
Go on then.
I said to you, Liam,
Yeah.
if you were in this world
Yeah.
and you were one of the teens
Yeah.
and Eliza was like, hey, let's sleep together,
Yeah.
would you say yes?
And I said no. Would you?
Because she's got a horrible disease.
Yeah, that I don't really want, and I also don't know how it would affect me.
Yep, that's fair.
But you, what about you?
Well, I said no.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't.
But
that was a lie.
yeah, I thought it might have been.
Yeah. So
why is that?
here's my logic, Liam.
Okay, here we go.
She was very nice.
She was very nice. A little bit damaged.
Well, yeah.
Good artist though.
Yeah. Also, Liam,
Yeah.
what if I turn into a cool monster?
I was thinking, like, is there a way the disease could affect you positively?
Yeah, she got a cool tail.
Yeah, I don't know if it's cool. Like, when it broke off in his hand, I thought that was a bit gross.
No, that was because she was a lizard.
Yeah, no, I get that. Still gross.
Well, only because you're not a lizard.
Yeah, neither are you.
Could be.
Like, if you start going around trying to fuck an iguana and you're going, it's cool, it's a lizard, I think
Well,
people
no,
are going to have issues.
If there was a girl who was a lizard,
Right?
I'm just saying, Liam,
Yeah.
you're very negative about the mutations.
No, I think it's that, like, I just wouldn't... It's the not knowing how it's going to affect you that I wouldn't like.
Yeah, no, that's true. But true love, Liam,
Yeah.
doesn't let things like that stand in the way.
No, but I would try and find true love with someone that doesn't have a disease.
Okay, well, that's all right. What about this, Liam?
Yeah.
You come home from... Well, no, you come home from the gym.
Okay.
You've had a busy morning at the gym.
Yeah.
And Kat says, oh, I'm feeling really ill.
Yeah.
And you go, all right, okay. Fair enough. She says, I'm not going into work. I'm just going to have a day off. And like an hour later, she's got a bloody little like lump on the back of her neck, Liam. And you're like, oh, what's that?
Okay.
And it turns into like a spine, right?
Yeah.
And she says, oh, I've got that thing from that bloody black hole comic you were reading. Can you believe it, Liam?
Right.
Would you? And then she says, let's have sex.
Well, I'd be like, well, clearly you've cheated on me with someone.
No. Someone had to have got this disease from somewhere
Yeah.
that wasn't another person.
Well, it could have been a monkey.
Well, no, I don't think so.
That's how AIDS starts, isn't it?
Well, that's the story, innit? From
That's
the
true.
chopped up meat. Who knows? Anyway. Yeah, so Kat, would you?
No.
You knew she hadn't cheated on you?
I'd still be suspicious.
No. Like, I don't know how, but there's a positive way. You're like, oh, it's proven. I know she didn't cheat on me.
No, because if it's anything like the thing in Black Hole, I'm still going to end up with some sort of weird deformity.
Well...
And that's the
not
thing.
very nice of you,
That's what I'm saying. Like, the issue for me is I don't want like to have like an eye in my chest or something.
Oh, that'd be sick.
No, it would be a bit Resident Evil.
No, it'd be really cool.
But like, I quite like the mouth in the guy's neck. Is that Rob that has that?
Yeah. It's got a little mouth that talks.
But imagine my one. Like, it'd be a nightmare.
Right, fair enough. Anyway, so other than the fact that you're a horrible person, you're not. I'm sorry. What else was there? Like, have you said what you liked about it?
Well, the art mostly, and the coming of agey stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it was a sort of thing that I kind of finished it, and I didn't feel like it had much of an impact on me. You know?
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Like, I wasn't left thinking, oh, that was really, really good, and I'm really going to remember this bit. Like, it was interesting and everything. It just, I kind of felt like there was more that could have been done with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've said this on here or if it was only speaking earlier, but it ended very abruptly.
Yeah, we haven't said that yet. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. So it ends very abruptly.
It just has, it's such a weird ending where, like, it is very just sudden.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to resolve a lot of stuff. And not in the sort of interesting, like, the stuff they haven't resolved is stuff you can ponder. It's just like, oh, okay. And the characters have all gone their own separate ways.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a question.
Yeah.
There's a bit earlier on where there's a like really, really deformed looking guy who seems to be going around like creeping on people.
Yeah.
And I was expecting that to take a much more sinister turn, right? But then later on, it turns out it's someone else who then kind of ends up basically murdering a load of people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just kind of it lost me a little bit. The whole point of the really deformed guy at the beginning, like more towards the beginning. Yeah.
So I think the thing with the guy with the deformity, right, is he's got one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
Like, he's horribly disfigured.
Yeah.
And I think the reason he was skulking around, when you like look back at it with the knowledge that it wasn't him that did all the creepy shit.
Yeah. Although I thought it was him that was leaving some of the creepy stuff around, but maybe it was just deliberately misleading.
Yeah, no, they were just tricking you.
Okay.
Because later on, Chris realizes that Dave was doing that.
Okay.
To scare people away from her.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think his whole thing was that he was just like, even though other people are deformed, like, he's worried that no one would, I feel like he was just the socially anxious nerd, because a lot of these kids that are living in the woods with their deformities are like the nerdy group almost.
Yeah, which is weird that they're the ones having all the sex.
Yeah, I mean, there are, some of the popular kids do seem to end up there, but it is weird that, I think it's like the idea that so my guess would be they were more accepting of the people because they're already the outcasts.
Yeah.
So they're probably more likely to accept it and just be like, well, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm already an outcast. Why would I care about getting this disease? Yeah,
and then they build this community up together.
Yeah. As they then get more deformed and thrown out of society almost.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, the ending is super abrupt. The reveal that Dave is the baddie is quite quick.
Well, the other thing is, like, I don't think they do a good job of establishing Dave throughout. It does feel like he's just kind of thrown in towards the end.
No, he's involved in all of it, but he's not a main character for most of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's on the peripherals for a lot of it, right?
Yeah, which I think is a good, like, that is good and makes sense, because you can then look back and be like, oh shit, when he was, like, doing that scene where he's just being nice to her and saying, oh, you can join us here.
Yeah.
Because it's always Dave that goes and asks Chris if she wants to come and eat with them.
Yeah.
So I think that does that's good at setting up for, when you get that reveal, looking back and being like, oh, all that was like this subterfuge.
Yeah, okay.
So it is very cookie cutter, like that ending.
But I don't know, you hate it when I use that description, and you've used it twice in this episode so far.
Cookie cutter?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've like fucking ruined my mind.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know. It does that, so it's got that like sort of lamely I'm using bad words now. You've confused me, Liam.
I'm sorry.
It uses the whole like very obvious ending once you get there.
Yeah.
The only bit that it does, it's also very abrupt, but then it also has a really fucking weird final, specifically the final like 3 pages. Right?
Where it goes to Chris, is it?
So you get Chris.
Yeah.
She's on a beach.
Yeah.
Where her and Rob spent a lot of time, had like a really good day.
Yeah.
She buries his photo. She gets invited to come and eat some food with some people.
Yeah.
She sees David, but I don't think she actually sees him. I think it's meant to be like she can't forget him almost.
Yes, yeah.
Because he's killed himself, right? At this point. Then she goes, I'm not ready yet, swims out into the sea.
Yeah.
There's a panel where the sea almost looks like it's like wrapping her up.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like water. And then her hair sort of seems to merge with it in one of the panels. And then it says, I'd stay out here forever if I could. And then you get a picture of a galaxy.
Yes.
End.
Yes.
And I have absolutely no idea what is meant to be happening there.
No.
Like, because we've seen weird shit happen in this book where, like, in the dreams, really fucked up shit happens.
Yeah.
There's this big focus on this rock that she likes.
Yeah.
Where she seems to be swimming out to.
Yeah.
Like, it almost looks like it was setting up there's something about that rock that's important.
Yeah, but that never really ends up.
No,
paying
exactly.
off.
But then she swims out there at the end, has this weird scene. Is something meant to be happening, like something weird, or is it just that she's just swum out there and everything's normal?
I didn't read anything weird into that scene. But I just, yeah, like, I never got to the stage with this where I felt like I'd given up with it, if you know what I mean.
No.
But there was a point where I was just like, just stop trying to figure it out, you know? Like, coming back to that, how convoluted it is to be told, I kind of felt like at points I should have been making notes.
Yeah.
So I could, like, piece it together better later. And I don't really want to read, like, a comic book, essentially, where I feel like I should be making notes as I read it. Like, it becomes a little bit more too much like work and not enough like, oh, I'm reading this for enjoyment.
Well,
like, the story wasn't good enough for me to want to invest that amount of time into deciphering it. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
isn't it? I don't know. It's difficult because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, the story isn't that good, but I am interested by it. Like, the weirdness. As soon as something's weird in that sort of way, I do want to, like, if there is an answer, I want to know what it is.
Read someone else having figured it out than you sat there and try and figure it out yourself.
I think that's also fun though. But then but that's something that we're different on. I like trying to figure these things out.
Yeah, no, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like for you, like, while you do like figuring it out, you would much prefer just to read someone who has figured it out than to figure it out.
No, but I'd like to read other people's thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd take if someone posted a thing being like, right, this is what it is. I don't think I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, done.
No, but I feel like
it's like Donnie Darko with all the like weird interpretations of what happens in that film.
Yeah, like he's
like, I think it's interesting to read someone's thoughts on it, but I don't let that be. I don't go, oh, that guy said it's, them seeing their souls, so that's what it is.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, because it feels like you're kind of with me in that we don't have a very, like, solid thought on it at this stage. Yeah. Like, would you go back and read it again to try and put together, like, your, like, take on it?
The thing is, Liam, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Like, as we've been talking about it, I've genuinely been like, I really want to go back and go through it with the knowledge I've got from finishing it.
Oh, fair enough.
Just to see.
Yeah, like, for me, like, I think it would benefit a second read. I just didn't enjoy it enough to want to give... Like, there's other stuff I'd rather read instead of reading this again.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Was there anything else about it that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I guess there's, like, one thing that came up as I was reading it.
Okay.
Which is, this like, graphic novel, like, super reminded me of this, like, manga writer called Junji Ito.
Okay.
Who has written some really fucked up and weird manga that I love. Like, Uzumaki, which, have you read, Liam?
No, I haven't. I wanted to.
Have you not? You just know about it?
I'm aware of it, but, like,
yeah.
I can't find it anywhere to, like, buy that isn't just, like, a ridiculously huge single volume of it.
Yeah. Like, genuinely.
It's one of the things that I feel like if I ever had, like, if I got into reading on the iPad, it would be perfect for that sort of thing.
Yeah, honestly, they're really... I really like them. They are super weird.
Yeah.
Like, totally just odd shit. But, like, it reminded me of that in that there's this, like, weird, transformation happening to a town and people are trying to deal with it. And, like, some of the reactions people are having aren't, it's exaggerated and not normal. Like, because let's look at it in reality. If a town had this happen, people would be trying to help the kids, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
No, they would, Liam.
No, but, like... Right, I could still... I don't think it's unrealistic for the kids to be so embarrassed and ashamed that they would hurt themselves away.
100%, but in this book, there are also people that are, like, actively destroying the kids' stuff and fucking trying to hurt them. Yeah.
What do you mean?
The college kids...
I can think of one example.
And the college kids' friends.
When's
Chris,
that?
Not Chris. Keith and his friends.
Yeah.
They destroy one of the camps at one point. And then the college kids are effectively abusing Eliza.
Okay. I
There's
was
like a whole
thinking
scene
the
where they rape
scene
her.
in the where he goes to get KFC as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So there's like 3 instances, but do you know what I mean? Like that's if there was a town that had that happening,
Yeah.
and you were like, there's a disease spreading throughout the teens and they're getting disfigured, they would get taken to hospital.
Yeah.
That would happen, and
Yeah.
I imagine eventually I could see people being like, oh, these teens are ruining the town, let's get rid of them. But this feels very sudden. Like everyone's just immediately like, oh, disformed people, destroy them,
Yeah, no, fair
get them
enough.
out.
Yeah, okay.
So exaggerated in that way, like it's all very compressed, I think.
Yeah.
Which sort of happens in those books as well. Like it takes the extremes of what humans would do and sort of explores that.
Yeah.
So that's it. But yeah, so if you liked this, I'd recommend going and reading some of his stuff.
Okay.
And, you know, the other way around, if you've enjoyed reading his stuff and you haven't read
Read
this,
this.
this is worth a read, yeah.
Yeah.
Out of 5?
I think 3 out of 5.
Okay. I
How
think
about
I'd
you?
go 3.5.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, I liked it just fine, but I wasn't like in love with it or anything. You know, there was
Yeah.
no like one element apart from the art. The art was really good, but like story wise, like there wasn't like that one character that I was really keen on, or like it just didn't have that thing that grabbed me.
No, fair enough. So what are we doing next time, Liam?
Well, next time we have a very special guest on the show, don't we?
We do.
So we're having Jason from the Atlantic Screen Connection podcast.
Yep, finally, we've been on his podcast.
Yeah. So now we're having him on, and he has suggested the film Bon Cop, Bad Cop,
Yep.
which is, I believe, a Quebecian. Is that how you say it? Quebec film?
Quebecian?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm curious to see some cinema from Quebec because I don't know a lot about it. I just know it's like a
I have
very
zero experience with Quebecian.
yeah. It feels like a very like separate part of Canada that has almost like deliberately kind of tried to distinguish itself away from it. But that could just be like a very outsider view.
Yeah, I think that is an outsider view.
Yeah. I just know it's like a part of Canada that just is predominantly French speaking, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to see a film from that part of the woods, and I'm curious to speak to someone from that part of the woods to find out all about Quebecian life.
Yeah, no, it'll be good.
I think it will be. Jason's a very knowledgeable chap, so I think we'll both learn some stuff.
Let's get him on, and you can just talk to him about your poop, Liam.
I think he'll enjoy that. If anyone wants to get in touch, that's easy, isn't it?
It is. They can tweet us, Liam.
Yeah.
They can tweet us at nerd.
Easy.
Simple.
Yeah.
What if they want to email us, Liam?
Oh, how would they do that?
Well, it's weird that you asked me that. I'm asking you. How would they do that, Liam?
They'd just send us an email
At what address?
at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Very good.
What if they wanted to Facebook us?
Oh, Liam, they go to facebook.com/
Every time.
nerd all one word. Should I check that?
I'm checking it now. Yeah, nerdonnerdpod, all one word.
What if they wanted to, Liam? Perhaps review us on iTunes. No, fuck that. What if they wanted to see our video? What if they were like, I love this podcast. I love the audio. It's so good, but I just wish there was a video element.
They'd go to YouTube.
Where on YouTube?
If you just search Nerd on Nerd, all one word, you'll find us.
Magic.
Yeah. They could also leave a review on iTunes.
They could.
I just don't know why.
We're not sure.
No, like I
think it improves our rankings on iTunes, but I don't know what that means.
Maybe like we get recommended to people easier or something.
Look, we'll be honest with you, listeners. We hear a lot of other podcasts asking for reviews, so we just ask you for them as well. But I'll be honest with you, if you don't want to review us, I genuinely don't see how it affects us.
Do you know they could also review us on Facebook?
Can they?
Yeah, there's a section on Facebook for reviews.
Look, listeners, if you want to review us on these things, go for it. But I'll be honest, I don't think, at the moment, that doesn't seem to be how we're getting more listeners. So, fuck it. You know, later on, we might be like, hey, remember when I told you to fuck reviewing us? No, I was wrong. Review us. But for right now, if you don't want to, don't do it.
Well, the thing is, they're not reviewing us at the moment, and so maybe
yeah, I'm
that's
giving them an
why...
easy out, because now they're all going to hear me saying, don't worry about it, and they're going to go, whew, phew, because I wasn't doing it, but I was worried.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is maybe that's why we're not getting more listeners, because they're not reviewing us.
Half of you, right now, pick a number that's either 1 or 2. Good. Everyone that picked 1, go and review us. Everyone that picked 2, don't do anything. This doesn't do anything or prove anything. So I've made a failed experiment here.
I like the idea now that someone's actually picked a number and now they're just like, fuck, I'm just going to
Yeah,
pretend I picked
I
the
feel like
other
you
number.
should. If you joined in that game, if you instinctively picked a number, I feel like you do have to go and review us now.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either, but I want them to know that I'm judging them for that.
Well, normally it's me judging our listeners, so I'm pleased it's you instead.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel bad about it. Sorry, listeners, but I am going to judge you, so...
Yeah, no, crack on. I think that our listeners
Yeah.
are some of the best listeners we could ask for.
You're struggling so hard to form that sentence.
Well, I didn't want to, like, overly compliment them because I didn't want it to get creepy.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But equally... one thing that I forgot to mention. So, you know, last week how I was saying that I was on Amanda's podcast
Yeah.
and how we were talking about Baywatch, and I was saying that I got a bit excited talking about Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just find the tweet. This bit has not been well prepared, Jack.
No, you've done a shit job.
Yeah. Where is it? Also, we didn't mention that her Buckaroo Banzai episode went up.
Did we not?
No.
We starred in Amanda's podcast. We guested on Amanda's podcast and did a thing about Buckaroo Banzai.
No, we were the
so go watch
stars,
that.
Jack.
I mean, we were.
Alright, so Amanda did tweet us, and she did say that, for the record, she had no idea how aroused I was while we discussed Efron, and that I was very well behaved.
Good job, Liam.
So I
You didn't embarrass us.
responded to that, saying Jack will be surprised to hear this.
I'm not,
Why not?
because it was you guesting on a show without me.
Yeah, and?
There was no one for you to deliberately try to embarrass, so you can just have an earnest discussion.
I never tried to deliberately embarrass you.
Well, final thoughts, Liam.
Also...
Is this a final thought?
No, Gibbo did tweet us.
You can't do housekeeping, Liam, at the end of the show.
I know, it's just I found a load of tweets that I forgot about.
fuck's
It's just
sake.
the last one. No, this is a treat. Our most dedicated listeners who have listened all the way to the end.
Yeah, no.
Get a little treat.
And I think it's good that we're reading them out. Just fucking get better at doing it in housekeeping.
Gibbo
The place
tweeted us.
you insisted on having for us to do this.
Yeah, Gibbo tweeted us saying that he's with Liam, with loving all the DC films, but was disappointed with Wonder Woman. And then he linked to a video where he was discussing it, and he actually made a really good point in the video that I hadn't considered previously.
Good, yeah. Liam, here's a good idea. Here's just a real good idea for you. You should do that right now on this 2-hour and 30-minute show that I'm definitely not going to get edited tonight.
It's going to be a real quick point,
Yeah.
okay?
I'm so happy that you're doing this.
It's a real quick point. So I had
Hey, listeners, this episode came out on Tuesday, and I'd like to apologise for that, but one of the co-hosts dragged this out to 2 hours 30
it might
at
be
11 p.m. on
might be a
Sunday.
bumper episode. I've still got to go make fruit, Jack. So we're all
I
suffering.
don't give a shit. This is going up on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's fine. So one of the points he made was that now that they've established that gods exist, right, on Earth,
Yeah.
and that whole mythology like actually happened, what does that mean for like the origin of humanity? Which is something I hadn't considered previously.
I mean, it can just be the same thing that the Marvel Universe does.
But Marvel hasn't established gods, has it?
Yeah, it has.
No, because Thor is technically an alien in the Marvel Universe, not a god.
Yeah. So why is Ares a god?
Because that's what they said he was.
Yeah. So everyone on Earth that believes that the Asgardians are gods,
Yeah,
right? And everyone on this Earth that believes that the Greek gods are gods.
yeah.
Why is it any different?
Because the Marvel ones say he's an alien.
Yeah. The people that know.
Yeah.
So who told you that they were gods in this one?
Gibbo.
Okay, cool. Final thoughts, Liam.
Sorry, this episode's gone up late. It's probably
Actually, fuck
my
it.
fault.
I want a final thought. Boo. Liam did this.
What?
I don't know. I'm
Did
angry.
you just say
Bye.
boo, Liam did this?
Yeah, I think I did.
Was that a boo like a spooky ghost boo, or a boo like a boo-hoo boo?
I don't know. I think it might be like a pantomime boo.
Oh, right.
Like a boo, but I didn't do it very well.
Do you want to try again?
Nah.
Bye.
Bye.